Hi, I'm Dr. Thomas Armstrong. Welcome to my website. In this video, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the 9 topics in learning and human development that I write and speak about. My most recent topic is 12 ways to revitalize U.S. education. Children are born with a natural passion for learning, but by the time they're in school, millions of kids are feeling stressed, doubtful about their own abilities, and disengaged from what's going on in the classroom. One big reason for this tragedy is the so-called educational reforms that have been imposed by politicians, corporations, and educational bureaucrats over the past 3 decades in the United States, including a fixation on standardized testing, an overly rigorous curriculum, and a focus on academics to the exclusion of the arts, social science, physical education, and other subjects. In my book, If Einstein Ran the Schools, Revitalizing U.S. Education, I pinpoint exactly what went wrong with American education during these 3 decades and how we can turn things around by emphasizing the importance of cultivating curiosity, imagination, playfulness, creativity, tolerance, compassion, and 6 other humane qualities in our classrooms. In the book, I highlight many schools around the country that are already doing these things. My second topic is mindfulness in the classroom. One powerful way in which students can receive immediate relief from the stresses that plague them both inside and outside of the classroom is by engaging in the practice of mindfulness, which is the intentional focus of awareness on each present moment in time without judgment and with an attitude of curiosity. One of the key ways in which mindfulness is practiced is by paying attention to one's breathing and then attending to whatever ideas, feelings, or sensations arise to interrupt one's focus. In my book, Mindfulness in the Classroom, Strategies for Promoting Concentration, Compassion, and Calm, I provide educators with the tools they need so that they can begin engaging in mindfulness practices with their students, including explanations of the different types of mindfulness practices, specific strategies to use at different grade levels, and examples of successful implementation of these practices in classrooms and schools around the U.S. and the world. My third topic is the power of the adolescent brain. Over the past 20 years, neuroscientists have discovered a wealth of information about the changes going on inside the teenage brain, including the fact that the emotional brain in teens develops at age 11 or 12, while the reasoning part of the brain in the prefrontal cortex doesn't fully develop until the early to mid-20s. I've written a book, The Power of the Adolescent Brain, Strategies for Teaching Middle and High School Students, that shows middle school and high school teachers how to apply scientific findings like this one to classroom teaching. How, for example, we need to teach metacognition to facilitate the development of the prefrontal cortex so that our teens will become successful and resilient adults and not a drag on taxpayer money. My fourth topic is neurodiversity. Neurodiversity is a term coming out of the autism rights community that I've been using to suggest that we should be applying a diversity paradigm rather than a disability paradigm to our kids with special needs. We don't say a calla lily has pedal deficit disorder. So too, we shouldn't be saddling our kids with negative labels just because they learn differently and have differently wired brains. I've written 2 books on this subject. One is an adult self-help book, The Power of Neurodiversity, Unleashing the Advantages of Your Differently Wired Brain. And the other is for teachers, Neurodiversity in the Classroom, showing educators how to use teaching strategies that build upon students' strengths rather than focusing on their negatives. My fifth topic is multiple intelligences. The theory of multiple intelligences was developed by Dr. Howard Gardner at Harvard University 35 years ago and suggests that the way we determine intelligence by giving a person an IQ score is greatly flawed. Instead, he says that the best research indicates there are at least 8 separate intelligences, including being smart with words, numbers and logic, pictures, music, the body, nature, people, and knowledge of our own selves. I've written 6 books about multiple intelligences, including 2 for teachers, Multiple Intelligences in the Classroom, and The Multiple Intelligences of Reading and Writing, 1 book for parents, In Their Own Way, 1 book as a self-help guide for adult learners, 7 Kinds of Smart, and 2 books for kids, You're Smarter Than You Think, for older kids, and Smarts, Everybody's Got Them, for younger kids. There are over 600,000 copies of these books currently in print. A 6th topic that I focused on is 101 non-drug strategies for ADHD. I've been critical of the ADHD label because, among other things, it doesn't acknowledge the strengths that these kids have, their penchant for novelty, their entrepreneurial spirit, their hands-on and kinesthetic learning styles, and I've been concerned about the increase in the medication of kids with this diagnosis, except as a last resort, because there are some potentially serious side effects associated with these meds. I've written a book entitled The Myth of the ADHD Child that provides 101 non-drug strategies for parents. I've also written a book for teachers called ADD/ADHD Alternatives in the Classroom that can help these kids become successful learners, both in the classroom and outside the classroom. My 7th topic is reawakening the natural genius of children. I believe that every child is born a genius with an innate sense of joy, curiosity, imagination, playfulness, inventiveness, and creativity. However, things happen as kids grow up that shut the genius down. We need to help kids reclaim that genius so that they can use these qualities for the betterment of society when they reach adulthood. I've written 2 books on this subject, one for parents, Awakening Your Child's Natural Genius, which is currently out of print but available through used book exchanges, and one for teachers, Awakening Genius in the Classroom. My 8th topic is the best schools. I believe the best schools in America and around the world aren't those that get the highest test scores, but the ones that address the real developmental needs of kids. I feel that early childhood education should focus on play, that elementary school education should center around helping students learn about how the world works, that middle school should put their emphasis on social and emotional learning, as well as metacognitive learning, and that high schools need to help students prepare to enter the world as independent adults. I've written a book called The Best Schools: How Human Development Research Should Inform Educational Practice, that describes these 4 levels of focus and provides lots of examples of how this can be done so that our kids will become truly engaged with their schooling experience. Finally, my 9th topic is the 12 stages of life. I believe that every stage of life serves almost like a separate culture with its own motivations, limitations, and opportunities. I also believe that every stage of life provides a special gift to humanity that we can incorporate into our own lives, no matter what stage we happen to be in. I've written about these ideas in my book, The Human Odyssey: Navigating the 12 Stages of Life. This book provides a vicarious journey through the different stages of life, utilizing sources from psychology, mythology, literature, the arts, religion, anthropology, and other subjects. My website provides information about my books, articles, presentations, speaking schedule, professional background, and it also contains a blog where I share on a regular basis ideas, strategies, news stories, resources, and other topics of interest to parents, educators, and adult learners. Thank you for watching. I wish you a wonderful day or evening wherever you are, and hope that the information on my website will be helpful to you. Thanks.